Well, this movie actually is something that I do in my life. I work with a lot of dogs that come from situations like Iraq, Afghanistan with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and what happens is a lot of times we're really good training a dog, but we're not really good rehabilitating or helping the dog to adapt himself to live this style of life, which is not about life and death. When a dog comes and lives in America, it's not really about life and death. He actually gets bored more often. And when a dog is working, especially with a soldier, it's about the pack. It's about the activities. It's about helping each other survive. So the bond that they create or happens in that kind of situation becomes stronger than the bond that happens when a dog lives in a situation where there's no challenge. Mm-hmm. So a dog, when it comes back, he finds himself not having purpose, not having a pack. Especially in the movie, the Marine passed away. So the family, when they hear the news, they go in grief. So the dog comes back to the family, and he doesn't know these people are grieving. He just knows that the energy is out of balance. So the dog doesn't feel safe. Mm-hmm. So what happens in a daily life with dogs is dogs don't feel safe, even though they live in beautiful homes. So even though the dog actually came back to a country where there's no war happening, he actually developed an emotional war because nobody knew how to help him to become adapted. So that's what the dog brought back to the family. How can they work together? How can they understand that his problem is he became insecure because he didn't feel safe. On top of that, he doesn't have a purpose. When he was, in the military, he had a purpose. Coming back, zero purpose. So that confused him. Coming from a working bloodline, that's all they want to do. They don't just want to have free food. They want to work for it.
Is there an understanding in the military, in the law enforcement area or industry about the needs of dogs, like the ones in the movie?
Well, of course. I think that a lot of lives are saved because they have somebody like them. The nose of a dog. This is an ATF dog, right? The word in the movie is a dog that find bombs and explosives and weapons and things like that. So the sensitivity of a nose of a dog is what saved the life of soldiers. It's not the eyes, it's not the ears. It's the nose of a dog. Which often, when you bring a dog, when the dog lives in this kind of environment, humans like to influence more ears than eyes. This is how the dogs that I work with, you want to go for a walk? So they create a lot of excitement. Or they bring a toy and do this. So they keep the brain really excited. But when a dog uses his nose, the way his brain behaves is this way. So it's a much calmer state of mind, and actually you can have a use for it. When the brain of a dog is influenced by ears and eyes, you have a very excited brain. It doesn't really help because the way dogs are born, they're born with the nose open. 15 days later, they open the eyes. 21 days later, they open the ears. Nose, eyes, ears. So when a dog has a job like him, he's using nose, eyes, ears. Dog in the city is ears, eyes, no nose. To the point that people do this when they want to meet a dog, which this is completely disrespect to a dog because he can smell you from here to there. So you don't have to make this movement. You see it? But one thing that you have to remember, a dog that is trained doesn't mean he's balanced. And a dog that is balanced doesn't mean he's trained. So when a dog comes back from war, he's trained, but they don't know how to balance him back to live in this style of life.
What kinds of things do dogs like this that work in the military do? Like, what are their jobs in the military?
First and foremost is the company, right? Because you miss home.
Right.
And this is it. This is home. This is family, right? And the unconditional, doesn't matter where you are, he's going to be right there. So live in the moment, which is very important. They can't think in the future.
Right.
Right? Because fear can take over. So they have to stay calm and confident. So that allows the soldier to focus on something else, to redirect his attention so he can war can be happening like 100 feet from now, and he can be doing this. So that becomes your influence. That's the company part You know, that's the part that he is also allow you to be influenced by. On top of that, he protects you.
Mhm.
You see, on top of that, his nose will tell you way before you get there there is something there. And the way they do it, they pick up on the scent and they stop. See, this kind of dog, ATF dogs, are not allowed to bark when they find something, like drug dogs.
Mhm.
Bomb dogs are not allowed to bark. So they live a much calmer state of mind.
Right.
So the company and the safety, that's what everybody wants.
So what happens when these dogs come back usually? Who takes care of them, and what's the process to make them
Well, there is
feel-
still a work in progress on that. You know,
Okay.
there's still a work in progress. The dogs that I have helped, they have managed to be given to the handlers, which is not always the case, but it's the dogs that I work with. And they can only work for like until 8 years old or 7 years of age, that they have to retire. And so the good thing about the dogs that I work with is they had somebody that wanted to keep them because they can become so overworked that the brain just goes in that state of almost like neurotic state. So you have to help them to go back into a calm, submissive state. You know, it's like, that's the part of being balanced. It's like workaholic people are trained to do that, so they don't know how to relax. Eventually they get a nervous breakdown. It's the same that happened to a dog. So you have to be able to switch that back and just send them back to its natural state of mind. They don't mind to work, but they do have a limit. But when they come and live with human has no limits. So they develop this obsession. See, we're the only species that develop obsessions.
So you were saying with that dogs, it's better to talk to them with their sense of smell as opposed to.
I don't think you're talking to him as much as you are respecting the way they learn.
So is that how you train dogs with their
I don't
sense
train
of smell?
dogs, I train people. Now,
So-
how I condition dogs for
Uh-huh.
me to redirect them in something that I want them to do,
Mhm.
yeah, is the way they learn. So you speak their language.
Right. So for example, when you have to teach a dog to do whatever, whether it's housebreaking or then it's better to, instead of yelling at them, you give them food and reward them with something that, or how does that translate?
Housebreaking is so simple.
Hmm.
Housebreaking, because naturally a dog doesn't want to use the bathroom where he sleeps. That's
Mhm.
natural. The reason why he does this is because you're not disciplined and you didn't take the dog right after he drank water or right after he ate. So you have to understand his mechanics in order for him to retain it. That the only reason why he pee and poop in that place is because there were doors. You know, even the mothers keep the thing clean,
Hmm.
right? And then they push the puppies to use the bathroom somewhere else.
Right.
So they don't really, and a mother dog never focus on teaching her puppies housebreaking.
Mhm.
Only humans focus on that. And the thing is, humans don't know the mechanics of bowel movement and
Right.
bladder. So you have to understand the mechanics, and then you just tap into it, and you just show the way, and it's a creature of habit.
Right.
That's what they want to do anyway. They don't want to use the bathroom where they sleep or where they eat. They're very clean. People think cats are clean, you know, but animals are clean by nature.
Right.
Yeah, so we have to understand their nature. How do we tap into that? That's why it's very important to train a human.
Right.
So for me to do a movie like this, not to make the movie, but to talk about a movie like this, because it has the message that I actually give in my TV show.
Right.
You know, dogs live in the moment. Dogs do go through emotional problems. They do develop psychological problems if their needs are not met.
Right. I've always I know that dogs are therapeutic, but I've always wondered, what is it about that chemistry between a human and a dog that makes them therapeutic? Like
Very simple. Everybody wants to love and be loved. That's very therapeutic. Sometimes humans are not available to be loved, but to
Mhm.
love you back with any conditions.
Right.
So you want to have this pure relationship with someone. You
Mhm.
crave it. Your spirit crave it. Your heart crave it. You know it exists. So the one who are available for that 100% is a dog. Animals, you know, but dog is the species that we are allowed to have.
Right.
And dog is a species that is pack-oriented versus a
Mhm.
cat is single-oriented. So it's not that they're wrong, they're just programmed that way. You see it? So it's
Mhm.
easier to have a relationship with someone who's programmed to be together.
Right. And does a dog usually pick one person to be the pack leader?
It's not that he picks
the
it, it's that that person maybe has the right energy.
Right.
That's why when you choose a dog, it has to be compatible to your energy.
Mhm.
So never choose a dog that has higher level energy than you, which happens with Marley and me. That's a very, very example. When they pick up a puppy, they came and they said, oh, the dog chose me. So that's very common, right?
Right.
So what happens is the dog came in intimate space
Right.
without invitation, and he jumped on them, and they nurtured that, then became a destructive behavior dog.
Right.
You see it? So it's
Yeah.
not a hero, it's a destructive behavior. But the human picked a dog that was not compatible to them. They picked
Right.
high level energy with very little knowledge. You see
So
it?
how do
Yeah.
you match those energy and how to choose a dog who is?
Well, when you go to a shelter, I give you an example of a shelter situation. Most people pick up a dog for two reasons. The dog is cute or they feel sorry for him. Right? So
it's
an
wrong-
emotional.
wrong- So is it wrong decision? I mean, a mistake?
From 10 dogs who are rescued, 6 are returned every week.
Oh.
So what happens when you return them, you put that down. So now that dog has that mark. He escaped the house. He chewed on the furniture. He bit a kid. He chewed on that. He jumped on this. You see it? So all of that is because the dog said, you don't know how to balance me out. So I have to express myself. That's his only way. That's his only way to protest. Right? So when you go to a shelter, you're going to have 3 minds. The mind that goes to defense, right? Excitement or aggression, quote unquote. Then you're going to have a mind that when you approach, he's unsure, but he's curious. And then you're going to have a mind that goes retrieves all the way, right? Pick the one in the middle.
What,
I mean, he's unsure, but he's also respectful. You can take the unsure right away. No touch, no talk, no eye contact. Let the dog come to you. Eventually he comes and does it. So the gap closes. All because you didn't talk, no eye contact. You let him figure it out. See, people like to figure things out for the dog. It's okay, baby. It's okay, I love you. And the dog was like, don't do it right now. You see what I mean? So by using human psychology in a dog, you just block his success. They have their own psychology. Dog psychology. It's common sense, but not so common in the dog-loving world. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
If it was a puppy, where?
Easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because puppy has no issues, right? They have not been altered by human training, right? They're puppies. They just came from the mother to the litter mates. But in every litter, you're going to have what people call pet quality, the run of the litter and the pick of the litter. But the way I see it is low, medium, high, right? Low, medium, high. So the way you can evaluate energy is you put the puppy on the corner or the puppies and the mother on the other corner. The high level energy is going to get to the mother first, medium second, and low third. Pick the low. If you have no idea about dogs, pick the low. Don't pick the high level energy. You're not ready. In 4 months, that dog he took over. 4 months. Remember, the puppy stage is the shortest stage on a dog life. It goes from birth to 8 months. By 8 months, they become adolescent. Females become in heat at 8 months. So all shelters are full of adolescent dogs. That's the time when people say, oh, I don't want him anymore. He's not cute. He's an adolescent now. So think about Rottweiler, right? When they're cute, everybody says like a bear. They're so cute. 6-month-old Rottweiler, people back down. He's not cute anymore. Now, of course, it's fear on people. You see it?
can you talk about the positive message that you think that movies like this can bring?
I think we have to see these movies more often, because the whole hero thing, the whole loyalty thing, the whole living in the moment thing, the whole family working, together to accomplish one thing, to honor, in this case, the Marine who passed away. This was the guy who saved his life. And nobody know what to do. And he can't help anymore. So spiritually, he would like to let them know, guys, you just have to do this with him. But that's obviously impossible. So somehow the dog managed to bring the family together, right? So he started protecting them, and then the kid has a task, has a goal. He's angry, right? He's understanding about the relationship with his father and the Marine that passed away. Completely took it the wrong way, which is very, very common, right? Our perception of him challenge our mind. So once he took this as his mission, he actually became closer to his brother. He actually let go, that his father favored his older son or his older brother. So it has that message, that is important to hear. And the whole unconditional love, the hero. We live with heroes. For me, all dogs are heroes. They save your insanity when you come from, driving for a long time or doing whatever thing you're doing. You come home and you get this. It changes your frame of mind like this. That's the hero. If he can change your frame of mind and save your insanity, he's a hero. But we don't see it that way.
What's the best movie about dogs that you've seen?
I love the message on this one.
Uh-huh.
I definitely love the message. I have worked with Beethoven, and being in the movie in there. Because I'm a pack-oriented kind of guy. I love a movie long time ago, movie in 1973, the Doberman Gang. It's because of the pack.
Okay.
But I just love every movie. It has a message. It touches people's heart, and this is definitely going to touch people's heart and remind the many soldiers will not be able to come back home, or many soldiers will not be able to be alive if it wasn't for the help of my best friend. Yeah.
So regardless of the dog's age, regardless how bad situation they may be and the way they behave, there's always a way to orientate them and kind of fix the situation.
Return him back to his natural state.
Okay.
That's why I call rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
Because dogs don't rationalize and they don't want to hold on to bad things. They don't really love to live with drama. Only humans love drama, right? And they hold on to it. So once your dog sees that somebody like me come and say, listen, exercise, discipline, affection. Then the dog said, well, I'm going to get rid of my negative energy. I have a purpose in life. On top of that, they gave me affection. When I earn it, exercise, discipline, affection. His whole life becomes balanced. The reason why dogs become unstable is because they don't have a balanced lifestyle. So one way for a dog not having a balanced lifestyle is affection, affection, affection. Most of my clients do affection, affection, affection.
So affection, even when they do something destructive, like a 6-month-old puppy, for example, that's, I guess, biting because he's playing, and then
He's playing, or he's saying he's bored as well.
So,
There you go.
so just play with him more, so he doesn't go into more of like the actually chomping down. He's 6 months.
Okay.
Well, the 6 months of age, a lot of people, what they find doing is they excuse the dog because he's a puppy.
Yeah.
But this is when you actually set rules, boundaries, and limitations. This is the stage that's easier to mold.
Right.
But this is where most people have already problems, so they're destined to have an adolescent with the same problems at a stronger intensity,
Right.
at a stronger capacity.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Right.
Yeah. So if it's not exercise, what's missing is rules, boundaries, and limitations. It's the mental challenge. Right? It's the mental challenge.
But-
Most people give affection at the wrong time.
Right. But when you say rules, I think,
Not to chew is a rule.
right, but then how do you talk to them or tell them that that's not okay without being,
You know, we have humans who are blind, humans who are deaf, and humans who are mute.
right?
So you don't need to have sound to talk to a dog.
Mhm.
Mute humans have dogs.
Mhm.
So it's not so much what you say as the energy behind what you say.
Mhm.
Second thing is timing.
Mhm.
Your timing have to be precise. Because if you don't catch them in the act, there's nothing you can teach.
Mhm.
They don't rationalize.
Right.
You can't give them a book and say, read about not destroying things in the house.
Right.
See, so you gotta catch them. But you have to set them up to succeed.
Mhm.
Exercise first, then you bring him in the environment and you supervise. And as soon as he goes and does something that you don't want, that's when you go in. So you stop him and then you help the brain to relax. Then they relate that is off limits.
Mhm.
Because when his mouth was touching the curtain, the human came, moving assertive, and that means he didn't like what he's doing. When the mom doesn't agree with the puppies, the mother comes just a little, and the puppies feel it.
Mhm.
The mom doesn't come, hey, 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 no, 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 which
Right.
most humans do. You know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Humans, when they use a disciplined ritual,
Mhm.
and quote unquote, they use a lot of excitement.
Mhm.
You see it? And when they ask for a behavior for a dog, they give too many chances. Like sit, 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 no, sit, sit, sit. So the dog learned that sit means nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Sit means hesitate. Sit means ignore me. So that's what the dog learned. You see, because there is no knowledge behind instincts. It's all reaction. They're reacting. So it doesn't really matter if you know if you can talk. Humans who are mute can have an amazing relationship with dogs. Actually, blind people walk dogs better than my clients. And they can't see body language, but they can feel the energy through the leash. See,
Mhm.
feeling is more important than eyes. It's really about understanding yourself from an emotional point of view. Yeah. Very, very important. You know, who you are in the animal world is energy. Right? So when I work with powerful people, the dogs don't know that's a powerful human.
Mhm.
What they know is the energy they have. Nervousness, anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, hostile, all of those.
Right.
Grief. You know, a lot of people, their dogs passed away, and they're in pain, and they can't take it anymore, so they go get a puppy
Mhm.
because they don't want to feel the pain anymore. But guess what? The puppy experienced them in that energy level. They don't know that person has a dog that passed away.
Right.
You can't tell that to the dog. The dog can only experience you as energy.
Carlos.
Carlos.
Sí. Ahora.
Qué guapo,
No.
Carlos. Ah.
Ahora boy down. Ahora boy.
And you are his trainer?
I'm one of the trainers.
All right.
He's an actor.
Yes.
He's a dog actor, right?
Yes.